everybody, this is Joe Joseph, and this is the DailySheeple.com's News Shot. One of my favorite bands out there, of course, a lot of people don't know, I'm a big-time metalhead. Killswitch Engage. Their frontman, Jesse Leach, about a year ago, penned a piece. I just found out about this, and I thought it was absolutely fabulous that he came out and said what he said. Basically, he said, I can't stay silent anymore. This according to rockfeed.net. And I'm finding more and more artists throughout each genre of music is really getting fed up, just like you and I, with the way things are going, with how polarized people are, with the hatred that's going on, that's being fomented by the mainstream media, by your mainstream publications, your television. It doesn't matter. Entertainment, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. It is just out there. They are dividing us every which way they can. And Jesse Leach just can't take it anymore. So he penned this, and I want to read his statement to you because I think, being an artist myself, I can tell you that artists typically tend to get it a little more. They're a little more plugged in to people. They just end up being, sometimes they end up being, even though they may not be outgoing, they oftentimes get people and can connect with people in ways that you just can't imagine. And he writes, knowing full well the insurmountable ridicule and abuse I may receive from this post, I cannot stay silent anymore. He says, I realize my thoughts, concerns, and observations may mean nothing to you. If that's the case, simply stop reading now. And for those that continue on, thank you. And back to your regularly unscheduled program of social media to resume in a minute or two. He says, I just can't take a side or allow a hashtag to define my grief. So we always have our ways to mourn with respect. I've been contemplating and mourning the current state of the world and this country for days now. I still find it hard to find the words, but I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror tomorrow if I didn't attempt to formulate my thoughts and speak my mind and heart. I mourn the murder of any human, he writes. The fact that we as people use death as a political platform or an agenda is despicable. The denying of deep-rooted inequality is also equally despicable. He says, how can we foster progress and actually equality when no one's willing to listen to each other? We must be willing to be considerate and walk in one another's shoes to find understanding. I don't see that much, sadly. Just division and disregard for one another. He says, what's a sad, troubled, and shockingly ignorant state of affairs we're caught in these days. The divisions between us as a people grows daily due to tragic events paired alongside calculated disinformation and false flag or wagging the dog. And if it says, look up those terms, like a good truther slant tinfoil hatter that he is. There's much outside of our history books and news reports to learn from. These days, we're swallowing blindly what they feed us. Instead of uniting to stand against a common enemy, the ones in power that manipulate justice and care not for the common people. Instead, we're divided against each other. While we bicker and fight over hashtags and who's killing who, the clandestine dismantling of this country and the world economy continues unchecked. He says racism, among many other warped and conditioned hateful thinking, is alive and well in people. It's being arrogantly displayed by many on both sides of the current issues, yet we are distracted by social status, fantasy games, and vanity glued to our phones like zombies. We swallowed manufactured media as clickbait conspiracies to occupy our minds. We've been warned for decades about these times, from literature to movies and songs, yet here we are in the midst of yet another crucial downfall, and all we're doing is infighting and pointing the finger at each other, when in fact the blame lies upon those in high authority, those very few at the top who oversee the passing and amending of our laws. The controlling of wealth and the distribution of power are the dividers and dictators of the system. He says, we have been conditionally dumbed down, divided, and controlled. This is idiocracy in full effect, but the vast majority can't see it. We've been indoctrinated and brainwashed so cleverly, patiently, and precisely that the vast majority are completely unaware of the state of emergency. We lash out against one another in fear and anger. Anyone trying to make change and speak out is violently or verbally struck down by an opposing view. It's either that or threatened, ridiculed, or simply silenced in death. How many more of us will die before we realize the truth has been disguised? How long do we allow those in control to manipulate us, to humiliate us, to steal from us, and kill us like pawns in their game of power? There's got to be a better way. There has got to be a radical change. But sadly, I fear the worst, as it seems most are too far gone, trapped in the matrix, as it were. The only thing I can offer is my personal action, my lyrics and my music, my choices, the companies I support or boycott with money. The effort I put forth to be understanding, compassionate, and yes, loving when I have the strength. My faith is that there is enough good within us all to begin to heal and help one another, even in small, simple ways. For those of you who believe in God, I urge you to pray. For those of you who gather in protest and activism, do so in peace. And for those of you in uniform, show honor and control. And for those of you who have compassion and charity to give, give it in abundance. We're facing troubled times, and I feel it'll only get worse before it improves. In the meantime, pause and think before you speak or act, and ask yourself, am I part of the problem or a part of the solution? You can control and change the way you think and act. Think about this, if only for a moment. I'm just a man trying to find understanding and do the best I can to help in any way. And I will continue to strive to write lyrics and songs for all of us. I will strive to be an instrument of light and hope in the world of darkness, albeit a flawed, sarcastic head case of an instrument. But it's all I have, and I can offer at present. I'm heartbroken for us all, but I won't give up on trying to make this world a better place, one little tiny effort after another. Be good to one another. And he says, with respect and sincerity, peace, love, and wisdom, strength and light to all. I have to tell you, he hit the nail right on the head. And what we really need, and I've said many times before, is love in our hearts, because with love, none of this divide and conquer can happen. None of it can happen. My good friend Popeye over at federaljack.com says it best when he says, be the change you want to see in the world. If you want to see change in the world, then embody it and be it. And make that change one step at a time. Be that light in the darkness and be that role model for the next generation. Because without you playing your part, we're surely doomed. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.